I'm upset with Kanye because I just feel like he's making himself out to be just a joke now, and that's where black folks can say stuff like that because he's just. I really would have wished that Kanye would have just been able to rest on his laurels. I figured out what the fuck that means now, and just rode off in the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Because his shit was timeless. We could have just lived off his classic albums and kept that shit moving. Because now it's like he's just trying to constantly reinvent himself still. And then now this whole presidential thing, and he's just becoming a joke. And I hate saying it because every Thursday I bump some type of Kanye West album.
See, I still love Kanye though.
Me too.
Because people like he goes on these rants. He goes on all these rants. He's saying all this crazy shit, right? But like when you look at the things like he's doing economically, there are like 10 black billionaires on planet Earth. He's one of them.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
Say,
He's one of the 10 black billionaires on the face of the earth.
But he doesn't even need his
From
politics.
$53 million debt.
You know how much infrastructure you have to build in order to get that stuff happening. Like this dude, like for all the things that people make fun of him, he's in meetings with Elon Musk talking about like renewable energy. He's talking about getting artists their masters, teaching economic empowerment, and that's the thing where like that's the number one beef. And again, not that Kanye is doing anything amazing or that he's not making an ass of himself. He is, but why do our brains always turn off when it comes to the economic empowerment, owning our own shit? As soon as that conversation starts, it's like we just turn it off. Oh, that's cool, Jay-Z. Own your masters. That's cool, Kanye. Blah blah blah. But as soon as it's vote, we're all up ready to go. As soon as it's boogeyman Republicans, KKK, we're all ready fired up. But it's like, oh, let's rebuild the infrastructure of the education system and create entrepreneurship programs. Nobody wants to hear that shit, and like that's what the actual problem is.
Why when you were talking about economical politics, you turned to Brian Gumble?
Oh my God. It's because like the bad is what's attractive, and that's what it like. Everybody, the bad, even though you say, oh, that's bad, but you're gonna look like you're gonna watch. Mm-hmm. The good is just like, that was supposed to happen, or it's supposed to be like that.
Bad press is good press.
Exactly. So when that bad happens, it's just there. So that's why I feel like it's swept under the bus. Like, oh yeah, he may be doing this, but Kanye West is getting crazy and he's doing this. This is like, oh yep, Kanye West is doing that. He took the mic from Taylor Swift or whatever. But I feel like when his mom died, is that when he kind of started going?
Yeah, he made
down?
808s.
Io hit it on the head, and you did too, because the hardest thing with him is the outburst is what people remember him for, but the stuff that he's actually doing that people don't know is the stuff that people aren't talking about, but that's the stuff that he should actually hold his hat on. You know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to hold their head on something that people don't see. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole iceberg thing. It's like the thing underneath where all the hard work is. Nobody cares about that. They only care about the tip of the iceberg. But it's like, bro, Kanye, if you just focused on that lane, didn't even think about politics or this presidential campaign, over time, maybe you can reinvent yourself from being this amazing artist to all of a sudden being this billionaire black male that has done these other things outside of being in the White Office.
Right. See, I've been a fan of Kanye West since like day one.
I know.
Because I just don't. He's always been the guy who's not afraid to take a risk, and that's what I like the most out of him. Like even where it comes from, like the 2 polo shirts to a MAGA hat. He's done it all. So I feel like he's always been like never afraid to take a risk. Like who leaves Nike to go to Adidas and then they still fucking changed the game of footwear to like a point where it's like Adidas is almost outselling Nike just because of one dude in a shoe.
They're not, but yeah.
You went from working at the Gap. You went from working at the Gap from the Spaceship song to doing a fucking deal with Gap, bro. Like,
so he's
I just can't take it away from him. Like
that's what I'm saying.
The people like the Kanye's, as much as he's like, oh, I'm the next Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, like. He kind of is, dude. He kind of is. And people who do the crazy things, they're eccentric. Mm-hmm. It is you have to be kind of psycho and delusional to think you're going to be a superstar billionaire.
Like materialistic wise, I don't know how much money I've spent trying to emulate what Kanye West has done.
I can count it.
Like I have a fucking Adidas shirt on right now.
When they did that Watch the Throne shit, they did like a little fucking video thing or whatever. He did say something just like that. And you said delusional. That's why it clicked for me. He was like, people think you're crazy and delusional when you start talking about your ideas until they see it. So he manifests all this shit. He says a lot of things. And yeah, some of that shit is off the wall. But I'm able to say, fuck, I don't care about that shit. You know, like, I like the fact that you own Gap or own a part in Gap now. You know what I'm saying? That Spaceship song is one of my favorite songs ever. College Dropout is top 5 album all time for me. You know, like, I'm able to separate that and say, all right, I appreciate all of this. You're going to have some negative shit. That's cool, but I don't need that. You know, I can just take this and I can learn from you. I have learned from you. And you're able to just kind of decipher and say, all right, this guy kind of might be crazy sometimes, but you have to be. You know, that every genius is crazy in a sense.
I just don't want to end up like OJ because people forget OJ
kill
was.
He's not gonna murder someone.
I'm just saying I don't want people because OJ was a Heisman Trophy winner. OJ rushed for 2,000 yards. I mean, OJ at one point in time, according from what I heard, was
OJ was Black America.
That's what I'm saying. But now, when you think of OJ, you don't think about none of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want something like that. I'm not saying it will.
Yeah,
killed
but we didn't
somebody.
grow up with OJ.
No, it's not that he killed somebody. It's just like he made his wrong and he never recovered from it.
That's from yeah.
Like Kanye West has made his bed like 4 or 5 times. He's always seems like he's recovered from it.
Yeah,
know
but
why-
he murdered somebody.
You know why people actually hate Kanye? It's not the things that he says. It is the things that he says and like the antics, but it's kind of a general reason. Like when I talk about self-improvement, like the way that people have resentment towards others, people deep down hate Kanye because he's like pure, uncut, unadulterated confidence. Like he genuinely believes in himself, and that like this is a random quote, but like there's this book called The Fountainhead, and like one of the quotes from the book is like people hate men with passion. People hate people with true passion.
Yeah.
People don't like when you are passionate about what you do and you actually believe in yourself. You're reflecting a mirror back onto people and showing them that they can't do that shit. And deep down, everyone knows like that they can be doing more. And then the fact that you're not doing more, that's where you have all this outrage energy. Like, why are people so pissed off at politics, pissed off at Kanye, pissed off at Trump, pissed off at Kim Kardashian, pissed off at all these different things? Yes, there are serious issues, but deep down, like when you lack purpose in your life and you have those deep levels of like insecurity and lack of motivation, like that energy has to go somewhere. And that's where they put it. It's like, Kanye, what does Kanye have to do with your life? Why does he bother you that much? That says more about you than it says about him, and you can like apply that logic to anyone. So that's what I look at people who are overly gossip, outrage. It's like nobody.
That's the majority of people.
It is the majority of people, and the majority of people, and I know coming from the background, trying to help people with this, most people are just full of shit.
Yeah.
The cold hard fact is that most people are going to die never having scratched the surface of all that shit that goes on in the back of their head.
Damn.
That's why I do that shit, bro. Even if you fail, dog. Jim Carrey, another quote, nigga. He did that speech at some graduation. He was like, you pretty much have one. I mean, you do have one life. You know, you can do anything you want, but if you're gonna fail, you might as well fail at trying something that you have a passion for. You know what I'm saying? Why not? At least you tried. Right?
Yeah.
You can always go get a fucking job. You know, for the most part.
Yeah, speaking
Unless
of
you got a felony.
passion, like Aya was talking about from the book, and like the thing that came to me when some people hate people or people hate men who have too much passion. I thought of KG when he won that championship with Boston, goes to the middle of the court and he goes, anything is possible.
Yeah.
When everybody was making fun of him, what happened with Adidas? They turned that shit into a slogan, made millions, probably billions. You know, now it's like you can't get mad at no one's passion because I feel like someone's gonna shine off that. Like, I've never hated on somebody just genuine off what they've done. You know, I know Kanye West, he makes these rants, he does these antics, music's coming out after that. You know, you got the hype, you got the buzz, you know, Kanye's wearing this, Kanye's doing this.
Whack
Boom,
music,
album. Oh, Taylor Swift, sorry, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the what happened album, you know, stuff like that. It always happens. So he's always been good at plugging himself. He's like probably the best marketer I've ever seen in my life. You know, so it's just like things like that you got to think and take an accountability too.